Hey everybody, this is going to be a lot of fun, okay? And now you got to know that the city of Oakland, finds itself in the place of losing the A's because it didn't take Major League Baseball deadline seriously, right? In the process of building Howard Terminal. So while the A's were waiting for Oakland to establish a tax increment financing zone, the city of Oakland, this is what they did, folks. Change course and went for grants, all right? Grants rather than the $800 million net proceeds from a bond issue that would have went to both infrastructure and offsite infrastructure costs and community benefits. That was the idea of SB 293 Skinner, okay? So now, as the A's prepare to relocate to Las Vegas, John Ralston, Nevada Independent editor, tweeted a thought that made me shake. He wrote, I'm having a lazy Friday afternoon, setting off people on the A Stadium. So many humor impaired, highly educated people. He writes with an exclamation point. My dad had a PhD and a great sense of humor. FYI. We have the Raiders, and he put this in parentheses. We have the Raiders and A's coming for the Warriors next, folks. What's everyone else up to? Now, no, he wrote coming for the Warriors next. He didn't say that they would get the Warriors, but he said coming for the Warriors next. And John Ralston is not just anybody. All right? He's in a position to know. Coming for the Warriors next. That ought to be what we do, what Oakland does as a city. Economic development is about pleasing people, but it's also about selling your region, state, county, and more locally, your city, or even your neighborhood. That's economic development. You have to tell somebody why they should take the chance to move from where they are to where you are and how you are going to make their lives better. That's what economic development is all about, folks. That is economic development 101. Oakland forgot that. The Bay Area forgot it. That's why I'm making this vlog. The Bay Area forgot it. The Bay Area acts like, okay, why do you want to be in our area? What do you have that we need? That's far different, the Bay Area's point of view, than any other place. And that's why we find ourselves in this position of massive disinvestment because of the impact of the pandemic. All the pandemic does is foreshorten in time development what's happening over time. Okay? And so basically what's happening to us in the Bay Area was going to happen anyway, it was just going to take longer. But now we see it, and the question is, okay, what are you going to do about it? And the answer collectively is, we're going to keep smoking ganja, you know? We're going to do just enough to have a roof over our heads, and that's about it, and we don't care about the people who don't. That's the message that we send. We say, it's okay to not have sports in Oakland. We're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to do anything to rebuild it. Folks, but that attitude that I'm sharing with you extends to the entire Bay. Sure, San Jose can want to basically behave because they think Oakland is vulnerable. They hurt us. San Francisco did the same thing by bringing the Warriors back. Hurt us. All right. What is Oakland doing? It's doing this. And that's it. Okay. Or whining about the A's leaving, which the city of Oakland, if it were correctly doing economic development, would have been scared was going to happen and had its timing down and met its deadlines. But those of you who regularly view here know the city of Oakland didn't do that. And so now here we are. Here we are. Okay. There are two ways to take what John Ralston wrote. I picked the latter choice, as I said. Okay. That some group in Las Vegas is going to go after the Golden State Warriors as a relocation objective. Now, the question is, who might that be? The answer was provided at the Oakville Group by the Oakview Group presentation at the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance Perspective event, which was held just over almost 2 weeks ago. Now, if you're wondering kind of what the guy looked like, it was this guy, Tim Lewique. Okay, that guy. This is the guy. All right. And what's he saying? Okay, basically it's like this. All right. The plan presented by Tim Lewique, the CEO of the Oakview Group. And if you're wondering, gee, where have I heard his name? Well, I'll tell you. He was the man who tried to bring the NFL back to LA and build a downtown stadium. They had competing interests by those who wanted to build in Carson, including ultimately that was where Mark Davis wound up locating. But Lewique had teamed with Lee Steinberg and others, and they were focusing on downtown. Meanwhile, there was another group led by Hollywood super agent Michael Ovitz, who wanted to build something out there in Carson called the Hacienda. Yeah, interesting concept, mating a kind of a Mexican cathedral structure with an NFL stadium. Really cool. Never built, should be built. Nonetheless, I mean, every time you scored a touchdown, they'd have these bells go dong, dong, dong. I wonder how they would hold up an earthquake. Anyway, my whole point is the problem here is that whereas the Oakview Group, okay, originally started, listen to this, these guys originally started with a $3 billion proposal. It's now up to $10 billion. Okay. It is at $10 billion. You want me to write that down for you? Yeah. Here, $10 billion. And no, I did not stutter. $10 billion. Okay. $10 billion. Again, $10 billion. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, not nine, 10. $10 billion. Thank you, Lord. Perfect application of the thunderclap. Because, think about it. What did it cost to build Chase Center? $2 billion. Okay? $2 billion. How much did the Warriors gain in sponsorships alone? $2 billion. That was it. All right. Do you realize? Think about it. Do you realize that Tim Lewique could pay for that 4 times over? Okay. Do you realize he could pay for it 5 times over? Okay. Think about it. 5 times over. And if you wanted to have money left over for something else, 4 times over. Or just pay for it. All right. My point is, he's not going to spend that much on the Warriors, of course. But my point is, they are playing around with enough money to entice the Warriors to move in a way that no group has ever done before. Do you hear me? Are you listening to what I'm saying? Pay attention to this, because I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. Now, as to whether or not the Warriors accept it, opens up what California will do. My guess is, and my bet is nothing. All right. My bet is nothing. And I'm happy to be wrong, because I think there is something that California can do. Like, for example, hurry up with getting the gambling passed. Sports gambling, okay? And make that area, that sports corridor, that they have down there more efficient to go from one place to the other and safer too. Upgrades, all right? Upgrades, okay? So my point is that, and I'm taking your comments. I'll get to your comments in a second, okay? My point is this. I'm glad you made that point, all right? My point is this. And it goes back to why I assert that John is right. They're going to at least try for the Warriors. And remember, he said we're coming for the war. It doesn't mean they're going to get them. You can make a bid to anybody. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be successful. But I think it has an outstanding chance of being just that. All right? Being just that. Now, here's the reason, okay? You're talking about an NBA ready 20,000 seat facility, which means what? They're going to build it anyway. Period. It's going to be part of a larger campus in the middle of Las Vegas with hotels. All right? Something like how many hotel rooms? Maybe 10,000? A lot. Okay? And so here's my assertion of why they're going to go after the big fish in the Warriors. Because they're going to need a gigantic pop in order to pay off the private bonds that are going to be issued to generate the visitors, to make the money flow so that their project is a going concern. That's why. There is no better team, none, in the entire NBA that allows that as a capability and yet is tenuous because of where it's located than the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors don't even call themselves a San Francisco team. They didn't call themselves an Oakland team. And no one did anything to make themselves married to that. Nothing. Okay? So why not make the pitch? Heck, Joe Lacob knows Mark Bedane. Mark Bedane is one of the executives with the Oakview Group. Bedane and his wife, with Joe Lacob, and the host of a party called from Vegas Magazine back in 2021 at Delilah, which is a new club there. And Delilah, according to Vanity Fair, is a kind of event place that's for the ultra rich and the ultra famous. Okay. 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 All right. So my point is that I'm going off what John Ralston said, because everybody views sports organizations in Oakland as vulnerable. Vulnerable. The state's not stepping in to do jack. Nothing. Nothing at all. Okay? And, all right, nothing at all. But here's the real kicker. Here's the other draw for a team like the Warriors. High-speed rail is coming. And guess where it's going to be located? Right across the street from the Las Vegas NBA-ready arena. A direct pipeline from LA to Las Vegas. So if you have Las Vegas there and the Warriors are there, it's easier than ever for Lakers fans to come to Las Vegas for a Warriors game. They can't even do that easily for a game in the Bay Area. Just get on a train. Think about it, all right? Think about it. My point is, you can find every reason to discount what John is asserting and what I am asserting and backing. But I can find more reasons to say they will make a pitch. Now, as to whether or not the Warriors accept the pitch is another story. But there is a reason that Joe Lacob was in Las Vegas with Mark Bedane. Hear me. With Mark Bedane, of all people. The photograph is up on the internet. All right. I'm not going to post it because Getty has the rights behind it, and I don't want to get involved with that unless I can find one that's not claimed that way. But my point is, the photograph is out there. You can see it with your own eyes. With your own eyes. Just type Mark Bedane and Joe Lacob, hit image, and you'll see it. All right? You'll see it. Okay? The Warriors are vulnerable. You've got people leaving Oakland and San Francisco for Las Vegas. Las Vegas is the number two destination for people who are leaving San Francisco. All right? Which means the Warriors fan base is going to be there anyway, on top of the people who already love the Warriors who are there. I predicted that in 10 years, Las Vegas will add 1 million people to its population. Listen to what I'm saying. Okay? 1 million people. This is not clickbait, folks. This is something I am making to scare everybody into action, because this is going to happen. And the everybody is the Bay Area, to finally come together as one and plan its economy, rather than San Francisco picking off Oakland and San Jose taking advantage and biting off Oakland, and Oakland being afraid to fight for itself, which is ridiculous. Because Oakland is afraid to fight for itself. I never thought I'd see this Oakland in my entire life. All right? San Francisco has not, as of this vlog, enacted any program to fix the problem of helping small and large businesses that have, been impacted by the pandemic. Just helping them stay solvent. And so what do we have? You say what I'm going to put up in a second. Let me tell you, Nordstrom's has left. Nordstrom's is out of there. I thought it was amazing that Nordstrom established their place in Westfield Shopping Center and made it a thing, a place to be on weekend nights, hang out. I have videos from that. Even some sad woman came over to me and wanted to talk to me about, being black and Donald Trump getting elected. I was like, what the heck is wrong with you? But then I've had other great times and great food and everything at that place. And Westfield, like that area of San Francisco, has been severely impacted by the pandemic. And it's not that there isn't a solution. There is. Remember I talk about SB 293 Skinner? Well, its brother legislation is called AB 464 Mullen, which specifically was designed to allow tax increment financing to be used to pour money into businesses impacted by the pandemic. That is right there, particularly small businesses. That's right there in the language, folks. Has Oakland used it? No. Has San Francisco used it? No. Has any city in the Bay Area used it? No. Think about that when you see all the people on the street. You hear about all the businesses that are closing. This is government failure, and you all are allowing it. A's fans allow it with respect to the A's, so the A's took off. You think the Warriors are going to sit around and put up with this stuff too? The answer is no. Okay? Get it through your head. No. Economic development is about making people stay. It's about telling them why they need to be in the region, and then it's about helping them be in the region. The Bay Area still acts like everybody wants to be in the Bay Area. People are leaving because of the cost issue. And there's no sports gambling for a team like the Warriors or the A's to make extra money on top of that, let alone the NBA or the NFL. Okay? Wake the fuck up. You hear me? Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. This is ridiculous. All right, now, okay? All right, now, okay? Something else too. Boom. All right, now, I will get to your comments, everything else, okay? We've got all the way up here. Dean Willie says that's not happening. Tell me why. John Mark says, nope, not happening. I reminded everybody that, hey, this is 10 billion. Vegas Mark, how you doing? He says, this would be more believable if it were the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm not concerned with whether or not it's believable to you. I'm saying this is going to happen. You can choose not to believe what I'm saying or anything, but all the tea leaves are out there, okay? Look, bottom line, you don't want the Warriors to leave. I get it. But I am so sick of inaction. And I'm so tired of us being behind and we're always reacting that I'm saying it's time now to get ahead of the curve. And the way you do that, folks, is to accept a possible truth and then work to make sure it doesn't happen. I mean, you do that with your own finances, right? You save for a rainy day. Okay. So don't you think you should ask your cities to react to prevent economic outcomes from happening that are negative? Of course. So don't you think you should get upset when they don't? Of course. This is only logical. All right. Period. End of story. The Pelicans are made more vulnerable as relocation target. Why? He says, look at the Smoothie King Center. It's a concrete block, plus NBA warned them. My whole point is the NBA warned them, that's fine. I have no issue with that. I am saying that the Oakview group, say that 3 times real fast, Oakview group, Oakview group, Oakview group, will go after the Warriors. He said, John Ralston said it too. We're coming for you. Hey, that's a warning, folks. I am responding to the warning. I'm taking what John put out there massively seriously, only because of this guy, all right? And this, okay? 10 billion. You hear me? 10 billion, okay? Privately financed, not coming with government money, he says. Of course, I have no issue with it if he does. All right? Because it gives us as a public sector and the public more control rather than some king out there saying, this is my property and I don't care. I don't want to have you here regardless of what you look like or anything else. Of course, we have state laws to deal with that. But it's better to have the government involved. All right? So my point is no income tax. So you're going to tell the Warriors, well, we're not going to do anything to help you financially. We're just going to pray that you stay. Good luck with that. 10 billion. I would not be making this if he did not claim to have $10 billion. Okay? All right? Then he claims his Pelicans are vulnerable. All right? Al Carbo says the Warriors are just built a beautiful new arena in SF. Glad you made that point. And are the only basketball team in the Bay Area. Why would they relocate? Because this dude's got 10 billion and could buy them out like that. That's why. I mean, are you understanding? Do I keep flashing this? 10 billion. It says it right there. This is Nevada Independent. John Ralston's publication. Vegas basketball arena developer says $10 billion project is growing. Won't require public money. Okay? It started out as 3 billion. Now it's at 10. How many times do I have to repeat what I'm trying to tell you? This thing doesn't come along every freaking day. They're building a sports campus there because him, and Las Vegas take sports economics seriously. Not like Oakland, which, thinks it's something that Zinni Abraham talks a lot about and therefore they shouldn't pay attention to because that's how they act. Who's losing the battle there? Not me. Okay? Not me. Look around at the events that are occurring. Wake up. Wake up, folks. Get your head out of your blank. All right? Get mad. Get mad. Because you're not mad about the appropriate thing. You get on the social media, you yell about billionaires and stuff. Make your elected officials work. All right? If you care about it. I mean, seriously, because I don't think you do. I don't think you do. You don't care. Okay? So that's why. 10 billion. All right? Silver State Warriors. I don't know. Vlad says, blaming the A's fans for relocation. Okay. Yeah, I am blaming them for relocation. I'm picking a fight because the A's fans didn't pay attention to what was going on, were content to trust the government, not do any work, except for the handful that paid attention to what I was trying to tell them. I have picked out these problems all throughout the Howard terminal process. So you're doggone right I'm blaming the A's fans for relocation. They didn't get on the city. They didn't side with Dave and John. Instead, they made fun of them, made memes about them and everything. You think somebody's going to want to help you after doing that? You think that you are not a good person. Good people don't do that. All right? Raiders fans didn't do that. They said, stay in Oakland. Stay. Okay? The mayor's like, well, this is the temerity of the current group. Well, we want you to stay, but we want you to sell. Like, they can do anything. We didn't write the lease that way. When L.U. Harris was mayor and Wally Haas owned the A's, they had an agreement such that if the Haas family sold, they had to sell it, the A's, to an East Bay focused ownership group that was going to keep the A's in Oakland. That was the idea. Okay? That was the idea. And do I need to recount the, 9, arguably 10 times the Athletics have tried to find stadiums in the Bay Area total? I don't agree with San Jose at all because it eats into the giant seed corn. Okay? I don't care what anybody says. If the mayor of San Jose wants to have baseball down there, then Major League Baseball to make him cough up $10 million, the city too, cough up $10 million a year minimum to make that happen for any expansion team. All right. Arguably, that gate fee has went up to $20 million. But that's another story. Okay. But here, even as I say that, Oakland sits back and does this. Oh, where are you? I'm in Vietnam, eating great food. Okay. I don't care how pissed off people get about this. I want you to wake up. All right? Wake up. All right? And John Rhodes says it makes sense either Warriors or Kings to Vegas. Yeah, it could be the Kings. But see, here's my point. John Ralston, the publication of the Nevada Independent that put this out, specifically said that they're coming for the Warriors. But then not only that, if I do the numbers, and I'm thinking, all right, look, okay. Easy, very easy survey. Who's more popular, the Warriors or the Pelicans? All right. You get my point. Okay. So what if I tell you, hey, the Warriors are moving to Las Vegas? It would be a seismic shift in economic focus. Because the one thing that I learned about the relocation of organizations like the Raiders, these scarce or teams, is that they bring a market with them. That's the one thing that I forgot. You say the media's market's not big enough? We got the internet to make up for that today. Think about it. But the whole of you look at this from a 20th century perspective, as if the internet didn't exist. And that's why you consistently make these cognitive mistakes. I made it once. I have a rule. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not getting fooled twice. That's why I saw that the Athletics were out of here, talking about Oakland, November 20th of 2021, not 2022, 2021, when I wrote that they were going to be at the Las Vegas Festival Grounds. I just didn't get the land right. But I was firmly convinced they were out because they specifically hoodwinked the city, specifically hoodwinked the Athletics, saying, hey, look, we're going to build, an infrastructure financing district for you, which takes boundary drawings and collecting the money. And then they foot dragged and did absolutely nothing. They could have done something, and they should have had it done right up to the point where here comes March 27th of 2021, when Commissioner Manfred said, hey, you know what? this is kind of taking a little too much time for this ballpark. So we're gonna start looking at Las Vegas. And then Libby, oh my God, I gotta talk. We better hurry up. Oh, okay, hurry up, hurry up. Seriously? And you all are rubber stamping this stuff. And so the same arguments they had regarding paying for offsite infrastructure that were supposed to be paid for by tax increment financing, guess what argument Shang brought up? That one. And then Shang walked in like she's the new sheriff in town and I'm going to make them pay for this and all this stuff. Oh, brother. Okay. And they were already convinced that Oakland had a mayor that was against them. The A's were. And Shang did little to eliminate that thought. Okay? Little. All right? So, even if Vegas didn't get the A's, Vegas would have gotten going after the Angels. Vegas had plan B. Again, my point is I have evidence here in this guy who says it's the Warriors. All right? But you're saying about going after the Angels. Okay. The only reason the A's came into play wasn't because they were in a situation like the Angels. The Angels actually in a better situation than the Athletics. But because the city of Oakland wasn't doing its job, Vegas, Matt, that's what you got to understand. Vegas, Mark, I'm sorry. That's what you have to understand. The city of Oakland wasn't doing its job. The city of Oakland so flubbed up that they have X'd out any possibility of hope for a successful lawsuit. Thank you, Lord, for the thunder. For a successful lawsuit. All right? Boom. Gone away. Okay? Gone away. All right? Vegas Mark says, if Vegas Warriors does in fact become a reality, consider Vegas an unbeatable sports economic golden goose. As far as I'm concerned, it already is. I am not making the mistake of discounting what's going on there. I went to school to do economic development. I am telling you what's going to happen. Okay? I'm not saying that it's going to be successful, but I'm saying they're going to make a play for the Warriors. You hear me? They are going to make a play for the Warriors. All right? Because they have 10 billion, but that 10 billion is not just somebody putting down a check. Mr. Adelson's not around anymore and saying, hey, you know what? I'll just give you 10 billion. I'll just sit back. You don't owe me anything. And even if Adelson were alive, he would say, I'll take a percentage. So you'd better have an organization that gets not just butts in seats, but people to come there, spend money on hotels, merchandise. You know the whole 9 yards by now. At least I hope you do. That would be the Warriors. And to have 10 billion, it would be a crime to have $10 billion in your pocket and not go after the Warriors. Anybody in that situation who is watching you in the room with you would say, are you some kind of fool? You don't make up reasons why people say no. You create reasons why people say yes. Oakland forgot how to do that. And so did much of the Bay Area. And so did California. That's why we lost the doggone superconducting super collider to Austin, Texas, like 25 years ago. For me, that was when the writing was first on, was on the wall. Now you got most of the movie industry below the line down here in Georgia. Same reason. What does it take for people to get it? And then when California finally put forward a movie financing alternative, it was a fraction of what Georgia offers. I mean, come on. All right? Ugh. And Joe says, I do hope we see American sports leagues in other countries, NFL, NBA, MLB in Mexico, Germany, Japan, Britain, etc. Okay? Al Davis, not sure what the point is there. Vlad is back. He says, good owners invest in their teams to put a good product on the field, which in turn helps the fans in the stands. John Fisher has never invested in players that made make fans want to be proud of their team. He's been in a stadium. And this is where I get after the A's. You guys saying I'm blaming the fans. Yeah, I am. You want to know why? Because they sit there in the Coliseum. The A's don't get any money from any concert that ever happens there. Rolling Stones coming, the A's see any of that money? Nope. Did anybody think to turn around and say, hey, you know what? The Athletics are a golden goose tenant. Maybe we need to rework the lease, to give them some more money. Nope. Did the A's do their share of improvements? Yeah. When you guys aren't happy with the A's being there, you turn your minds around and then you turn around, you talk about all the improvements they made. They did as much as they could do. All right. And just because a person is a billionaire, let me tell you something. No billionaire ever spends their own money on a stadium. That's stupid. You design the stadium as a business to pay for itself. You don't do what you're talking about, what you think about. Stan Kroenke doesn't do it. No one does it. And just because they're private bonds doesn't mean it isn't the same rule. It's the same rule. Okay? Same rule. All right? I think the Blazers will be cheaper to buy if Seattle gets an NBA expansion team. Thanks. And hi, thanks, by the way. Thank you for the 50, by the way. Vlad says A's fans were fans in spite of John Fisher and Dave Cowell's poor stewardship of the club. No, A's fans were fans because, let me tell you something. A's fans were fans for a good reason. They met their friends there, maybe in some cases their wives or husbands or, whatever the combination is. But my point is, it was the social event. That's really what it is. And people need to come to grips with that. It was the social event. It wasn't like you were working for them. Okay. It wasn't like your business was dependent on them being there. It was social. And it is social. And that's it. Okay. Because let me tell you something. If the fans were real fans, they would have been able to come in and fill up the stands regardless. But they didn't do that. And you would say, well, they didn't put a winner on the field. Well, I thought you were fans. I'm just being real with you because this is what they say. This is how the industry thinks. The industry doesn't side with, well, hey, you're not putting a good product on there. But guess what? John is going to be in a city with a facility where he owns the revenues and be able to do that. And in 6 years plus, you guys are going to be saying, gee, I was really wrong collectively. If you want to deal with the truth. Because I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. Okay? I'm tired of being nice. I'm tired of, I don't want to hurt these folks' feelings or them say that I'm making clickbait. This isn't about that. This is about waking you up because you're asleep. And then you go and listen to other people who tell you what you want to hear. I am not telling you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to know. All right? I am telling you what you need to know. This is your red pill. Take it. Okay? Take it. All right? Says Mark Thompson, how you doing? Make sure I didn't miss anybody among my people here. Vlad, who's mad at me. Sorry for that. Yeah, I got you. Vegas Mark says too many politicians still think this is the 70s when it comes to the internet age. That's the central problem. A lot of fans too. Mark Thompson says, I'm really excited for the A's here in Las Vegas. I'll be attending many games as I can. I'm also super excited for NBA here in Las Vegas, which will happen one way or the other. I might say one might be their expansion or the reverse, but I'm betting it's the other. In other words, relocation. I'm betting they go after the Warriors. Again, I don't know if the Warriors will take it, but you can't ignore 10 billion. Whew, my Lord, excuse me. If I only had a fraction of that. Anyway, Queen Tanya, hail Mr. Abraham. My name was Miss Tanya Green. I learned of your channel. Tanya, you have to contact me another time. I cannot allow that one. So you're going to have to contact me another way because that's unfair to that's unfair to my viewers here. You can, you know, my number's out there. You know how to get a hold of me. Email too. And so anyway, Vegas Mark 725 writes, if this comes to pass, then next is the Major League Soccer, maybe horse racing. That Vegas has the whole sports in. I believe that's the plan. They got Formula One coming. What, November? Oh boy, got your ticket? Wait till that happens. You will see the full power of what Vegas is trying to do. It's going to be glorious, and it's something I wanted to Oakland to do for a long time, and it's sad. Mark Thompson says, fans are supposed to be fully supportive through thick and thin, no matter what, and that's how it normally works for reality. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. So Mark says, next typo. Gotcha. But I got your back. Joseph. Joseph says, Vegas Mark, I write the MLS every day to bring a team here and did that with the XFL. Matthew Green argues that the Cincinnati Reds drew 40,000 this weekend just for a 10-game winning streak. Wow. John Revolution says Cubs and Red Sox had bad teams for up to 60 years and people showed up. Yep. It's not a good statement for A's fans. I mean, you have to have a reverse boycott to put 27,000 in the stands. You know? Okay? The real problem, the real truth is that, first of all, baseball is not as popular as it used to be. They don't have a lot of Black American players, the least since 1955. And they put a product on the field that until recently has been a little boring for some. I love baseball. But again, I'm saying things I don't like to say because the problems are out there and you can't ignore them. All right? And as I say, it is what it is, right? Okay? Vegas Mark says, like Jim Carrey, as the Mask once said, can't make the scene if you don't have the green. Thank you. They have the green. They have $10 million. $10 billion. I'm so about the number, I said it incorrectly. I smalled it, right? With a B. Billion. $10 billion. You think, why do you think Joe Lacob is hanging out with Mark Bedane? Just saying, all right? Just saying, okay? I'm just saying, all right? There's something going on, folks, all right? And you know the old saying, right? Where there's smoke, okay? I'm just saying there's smoke, all right? And I'm not blowing it. A's had a wild card berth in 2019. Yep, they did. Yet they draw 8K. Right. They had a wild card berth, yet drew 8K. Thank you. Okay. Pirates also draw well too. Yep. Thank you. Gotcha. What can fans do at this point? We're the suckers and the scapegoats? Yeah. First of all, you can demand that the mayor of Oakland start a task force to get baseball and sports in Oakland. Demand that. Okay. And then and on that task force, okay. All right. Make sure the mayor brings together business community, locals, nonprofits, legendary sports figures to be on it, former mayors, okay, the whole 9 yards. A's fans, former Raider fans, the whole 9 yards, okay? Not just people she likes either. People she dislikes. I'd be happy to serve on it. But Oakland needs to come together and stop its parochial behavior because its parochial behavior has extended into economic development and it's wrecking the city. We need to stop. And then we need to have one letter. We invite our neighboring city mayors to be part of it that says, and we bring in Barbara Lee's running for election, right? Bring her in. Bring in all of our elected officials everywhere. Get them to be on it. Get them to send a representative. And then write the NFL. And then write Major League Baseball. And then write all the sports leagues and express to them our desire to have teams in Oakland. Now, And I'm saying, then let's what we're prepared to do. Finish Howard Terminal for an in Major League Baseball ready facility. How cool would it be if you really want to, this old saying that if you want to get revenge, nothing gets revenge like success, right? Build Howard Terminal anyway as a baseball facility and convention facility. All right, that would be enough right there. Get a new developer to team up, get the tax increment financing zone approved and going, start the public financing authority, and continue as if nothing happened. That is what Oakland should do. You hear me? That is what Oakland should do. You hear me? That is what Oakland should do. Build for a change rather than reacting. Eric Grubman told me that. Oakland is too busy, he said, reacting. They don't plan. He's right. Here is the best time to turn that around. Okay? The best time. That's what fans can do. Write Shang. Get her on there. Don't just get on social media. Write her like emails. Okay? Make videos and tell her. Okay? Crusade the thing. All right? All right? It says F1 Las Vegas GP is basically a 2-hour long nonstop to Vegas ad. Genius. It is. Jay, how he says, where there's smoke, there's fire. Yes. This, Jay, thank you, is that smoke. $10 billion. It's got $10 billion. $10 billion. All right. University of Mars. Otis Sistrunk. Baseball integration was the biggest business coup in U.S. history. They got all the players and no black owners. Yeah. That's the thing's got to change. Mark Thompson says, as the Warriors owner and leaders made work trips to Las Vegas to see a lay of the land there. All I know is this. I'm gonna type this because I figured out a workaround. Let me show you what's going on here. I'm gonna type Mark Badane and Joe Lacob right there, okay? There we go. Okay. See that? Right there? That's them together. When I click on images, see that? That's Badane, all right? And Joe Lacob, all right? Okay? All right? Okay? Two SF giants always give big to Trump. Oh, brother. Anyway, okay. Oh, and there's my little dealing. All right? These are the guys that had the party in Vegas. Okay? That's where Mark and Joe were. All right? Okay? I hope that answers your question. That was in 2021. Okay? Famebo podcast says Dave Stewart wants to buy the Oakland A's. They wouldn't let him buy it. I will only say this. If you're African American and you're going to make a bid for something like the Athletics and you're going to make a pledge to build something, you need to make sure that when you put in a proposal, all your I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed. When I'm explaining to you, I explained this privately to Dave Stewart and his great wife. It's not personal, but it's a matter of business. They didn't make a presentation to the best of their abilities. All right? They did not make a presentation to the best of their abilities. And what happens today is folks are not going to take time to tell you why you didn't win. They're going to say, hey, this is great. And, oh, thank you very much. We decided to go in this direction. I'm telling you, and I told them, and I wrote it, what the problem was. I can't help if they didn't consider what I was doing a favor to them, but it was. Nothing personal against them. You want to see them win the right way. Just saying. Okay. And I would appreciate it very much if anybody has done that for me. Okay. A lot of people don't. A lot of people sit back, they'll watch you make mistakes and they'll laugh about it. They'll use that to laugh at you today. That's society. That's bad stuff. Okay. All right. That's the devil's work. Don't be a good person. Just let them know what the problem is and how they can do it better. All right. Vegas Mark says, like I said before, 2023 is the year of Las Vegas, culminating with Super Bowl 58, even though that's in February 2024. And they need volunteers. And I want to be a part of that too. I'd love to get paid by the Las Vegas Convention Super Bowl host committee to do this specific idea that I have. And when you would say, "Oh, Zinni wants to get paid by them," of course, there are people like my good friend Chrissy Delisle, who has the culinary kickoff party, who make a killing around Super Bowl time, and then that's it. They're done for the year. I know people have done that year after year after year after year after year. It doesn't matter where they're living. It's a business. Zenny 62 Media is a C Corp. We're a media company. All right? We're a corporation. We're not pretending to be a nonprofit that then, takes money under the table and all this, but then says it doesn't take money from certain people, but then it turns out does for certain purposes. All right? Some of those that actually operate in Oakland, just saying. No. We're a media tech company that is uniquely equipped to do what I want to do with the Las Vegas Super Bowl host committee. And had I not had a particular reason for wanting them, which involves a friend of mine who's in a high place who said, "You know what, Zenny, I think you'd be good for them." He's not even in Las Vegas. He's way at the other side of the country. I wouldn't have done it. All right? It's business. Okay? Think about that. Think about that, because the people who tell you otherwise who go name saying, either they're hurting for, they're going to be hurting for cash. Unless, of course, they're not making some money some kind of other way. Always watch people who are quick to criticize like that, particularly in media, because all you have to do is look under their hood a little bit to find out that they're being hypocrites. Just saying, folks, just telling it like it is. All right? If Mayor Tao keeps blaming Major League Baseball, will Oakland even be considered for expansion list in its future? Didn't she abandon the Howard Terminal project? She didn't abandon the Howard Terminal project. It would be wrong to say that, but it is correct to say that she didn't understand that the A's needed tax increment financing to happen yesterday, and for her to go back to the original agreement where the city was going to use tax increment financing to pay for infrastructure and offsite infrastructure costs and community benefits, even though the A's said they would be happy to contribute in that area. But Dave didn't mean him spending $450 million. He meant but for. That means TIF. Okay? So if Shang had went in saying, "You know what, we're going to correct where Libby went wrong," they had been in a better position. But see, for Shang's point of view, where Libby went wrong had to do with not being more progressive. That has nothing to do with economic development. Economic development is about helping a person reduce the cost of their business to be in your town so they can thrive. You either do that by subsidy or tax credits or reductions of some kind of way. It doesn't matter if the business is large or small. Remember that. Doesn't matter. That's what good economic development does. It really does. And keeps the city safe and good to be in. Okay? All right? Major League Soccer too. There you go. All right, folks. I got through all this. I'll be back to talk about it more. I'm at the hour mark. Live long and prosper in your world. And I'm going to talk about Star Trek. I love the new Star Trek with Anson Mount as Captain Christopher Pike. But then I'll be back to talk more about this issue and about the A's and about Las Vegas and legislation and complications and bonds and all that stuff. Subscribe to Zenny62. Hey, and contribute. Have an investment. And, or if you have a need for a particular item of content out there, hire Zenny62 Media. But just remember what I'm telling you, though. And I want you to go to Nevada Independent, John Ralston's great publication. I don't always agree with what he puts out, but that's not the point. I love what he does, okay? Love what he does. And you got to read this. Read about this. Nevada Independent. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later. That is this broadcast. I'll see you.